everybody! June is almost here and we are going to push our watercolor boundaries this month. I am about to prepare everything for a challenge, which means the material but also, you know, inspiration things, resources, writing down ideas that could trigger my inspiration during the challenge. And I thought I could bring you with me during this process so that we can do it together, so that we are sure we are ready to take on the challenge. Yeah. Two really quick things before we talk about gathering our materials and watercolor books and writing down ideas and prompts and reference photo, everything. First, I would like this to be a kind of vloggy tutorial, vlog style, a bit tutorial, so I hope you will like this. And then this can bring a kind of a nice dynamic to the video. And second thing, as we are talking about vlogging, I decided I am going to try to vlog during the challenge to share with you my thinking, my watercolor progress, the subject I chose, how I try to keep inspired, you know, like day one of the challenge, what is happening and everything. This doesn't mean that I am going to upload daily, but maybe every few days if I manage to do so. Wish me good luck! And yeah, reflection about the creative process and how to evolve with our style, how to be more creative when painting and how to enjoy even more watercolor. So here is my 30 by 30 direct watercolor 2018 marathon checklist and my prepping for the challenge. Let's get into it. So first thing is gathering our materials. And when I say gathering, I mean gathering. I don't mean you have your brushes in the second drawer to the right or everything. Just pick them out of here. Right now they have to be ready for real and gather them, put them together with something you can move. Most of you already know that I like to have my creative bag with me. Small bag, bigger bag, colorful bags. But it can also be a box or even a simple basket, especially if you plan to paint mostly indoors. As for me, I'm going to gather my thing in this new big creative bag I found on Amazon and I am currently trying out. I wanted to make a review for you, but it seems that I didn't really have time to do so. But here it is. Nice big leather bag with the pocket in front for the water pot. I will put a link in the description box below if you are interested about it. So is your first checkbox checked? Which means you have everything to put together in it. Are you following me? Second checkbox. Paper and sketchbook. I mean paper or sketchbook, paper and sketchbook, whatever you like. So am I ready about it? Yes, I just figured out I have a piece of sketchbook already soon, so this day I am painting on a landscape format sketchbook. And I like to bind only a few pages together so that I can have a lightweight sketchbook to carry and to work on. So you can sketch and paint on loose sheets of watercolor paper or about sketchbook, or like me, a handmade sketchbook. If you want more information about it, please check my tutorials about making your own DIY handmade own sketchbook. And then of course you are going to pick your brushes. Ooh, lovely. Your paint. Creamy, juicy, colorful, lovely, dirty! And that's it, your materials are ready. That's the beauty of watercolor, so easy, so simple. Yay, checked, checked, checked! By the way, for more inspiration about my own material, please check the urban sketching setup video and the watercolor palette video to get all the info about it. What a pretty view, isn't it? Just appeared on my screen and I wanted to share it with you. Lovely, lovely. So this was a bit of the obvious stuff. Now let's get into the most important thing, inspiration. Inspiration is so important and we have to hold on for 30 days. This may not be too much. Ready? So inspiration can take several forms, of course, online, paper, maybe a few people to sketch and paint with. I am sure you have your favorite artists that you can follow on their blogs and Instagram and YouTube channel to be sure to get inspired each time. So the idea for this checkbox is to find something that just trigger your willing to paint, which means you pick it, you browse it, And whoa, you just want to paint! Ah, where are my brushes? Where are my brushes? As I said, this can also be online, and we are going everybody to share our painting in social media, on the Facebook group, and on Instagram with a special hashtag 30 by 30, direct watercolor 2018. So it's going to be such a wonderful inspiration for everybody. But just a little warning about it, we are following the white rabbit, but social media can sometimes be a bit of a rabbit hole. So especially if you don't have much time and you think you have to paint quite soon, maybe that's not the best to start browsing Instagram and Facebook and answering comments and putting likes and keeping going in the feed, in the feed, in the feed. Probably that's why nothing beats a good book. Of course, this is Marc Taro Holmes' books about direct watercolor, which explains everything about how to tackle a watercolor without too much fussing and too much pencil guidelines, maybe just a few, and then dive into the paint with interlocking silhouette and shadow shapes and negative painting. And there are a few other watercolor books I could recommend. By the way, I came upon a website lately that allows people to kind of record the material they use and everything and create some kits so that the people can have the list with the photos and links and everything about materials and the things they love. So I started to try using it and create a collection of watercolor books I like and would like to recommend. The amazing thing is that the links that you are going to find out there to find the books and everything are going to adapt depending on your country, which means that if you are Italian, you are going to go to Amazon Italy, and if you are Canadian, the link is going to lead to Amazon Canada and everything. So I hope this could be a great way for me to share with you my material in an easy way, and so that you can find it depending on your country all over the world. This one, the Hazel Swan book, they changed the cover and made it a soft cover, and now it's about 10 euros or dollars, so really affordable. And by the way, I made a review a long time ago of this book, and it's still one of my favorites, so I will put the link down below and the link for the kit website where you can find hopefully the collection of all my favorite watercolor books that I hope can help you bring inspiration for the challenge. So, inspiration checked. Now, information. We need information, of course, because we are all a bit unsure about what we are doing and we want to make progress and to be guided in the process. We want advices and actionable information. Of course, books can be a source of information, but in my opinion, tutorials are usually more actionable and more practical. Plus, they are usually smaller chunks of content that you can absorb and digest, apply right away in your watercolors. You might already have some online courses or videos that you saved to watch them again because they kind of give you the information you need to make progress. But you are also going to be able to enjoy some special content and resources during the challenge. Marc and Suhita already started to put out some really interesting articles about watercolor, how to get a fresh approach of it and how to get at ease with it. I really recommend that you check them out if you haven't already. And I also planned hopefully to make some tutorials video, and the first one I plan is about stop being scared by watercolor and feel more at ease on how to start, a bit the easy way to enjoy painting with watercolor more right away and to tackle the challenge on the right foot. Hey, almost there, almost ready for the challenge. Materials checked. Inspiration checked. Information checked. One thing left, ideas and prompts. Because we didn't talk about it. I mean, what are you going to paint? Where are you going to paint? Are you going to paint on location, on the studio, at home? What is your plan? If you don't have any plan, we can work on it together. So first, maybe places and situations. So at home, you can define a few places. For example, I would say my terrace, and at home, like inside the living room or something. View by the window, this or that view, you know, you can have in mind already a few ideas. For some outside location, I think about a lovely garden that's not so far from home. There is a river out there where I shot my urban sketching setup, and a few streets, little kind of typical streets in my neighborhood. I may make a walk in the countryside, you know, in the fields, that can be quite lovely to paint. I like views with churches because I think the bell tower gives a nice focus and a thin things to look at, so I can try that too. I may go to Paris in June too, so maybe you can plan a trip, not so far, but you know, just a kind of painting day with some friends or just all alone by yourself. Another idea. Still about places and situation. If it's winter where you live, maybe you can think about kind of big shops, commercial centers, cafes, of course, museum. And in the northern hemisphere right now, during spring and summer, maybe forest, countryside, as I said, urban setting, going to the sea. Can try to go and attend a few events, like a sort of local thing, even some markets, garage sales or market fleas. Public garden, when you can sketch kids, for example, or families. So I'm going to write down all these ideas about places and situation and painting approach for these subjects. So Marc sent us an interview, so to ask us a bit what was our approach for the challenge. So feel free to check all the interviews, mine including on Marc blog, citizensketcher.com, of course. And he asked if we had some ideas about strategy to tackle the challenge and to take on the marathon. So I thought about it, and I figured out that something nice for me would be to associate a subject with a painting approach, so that I have already in my mind the way I want to tackle it, and that the inspiration came right away. So in the interview I am talking about trees and scraping, for example, scraping, card thing. Background cloud, light and shadow, flat brush, urban scene, or negative painting trunks. Try not to write down only flowers, for example, but to find something more specific than that. It can be more specific with the subject, for example, which flowers you are going to paint, but I would recommend that you also associate something about the painting approach, like wet in wet flower, or negative painting white flower, for example, or flat brush graphic flower. That way, as soon as you will put out your list of ideas, you will right away remember why you wanted to paint it and how you wanted to paint it as well. Try to find various subjects and various techniques you want to try on, like dripping bunch of flowers, or strong value still life, or simplified silhouette of people painting in the streets. And if you like, why not sorting this idea by duration, style and location, so that you know, for example, that if you only have 15 minutes to paint, if you pick one subject of your quick list, and if you have more time, you can pick the subject on the kind of more complex, longer duration list. I think it can also be interesting to sort a thing between kind of urban sketching approach, so slightly more descriptive and about the subject, and on the other hand, some paintings you might want to make more painterly, like loose seascapes or a bunch of flowers, this kind of thing. And we talked about the location, of course, depending on if you are at home or outside, of course you are going to be able to paint this or that kind of subject. Plus, even if my favorite thing is painting on location, I gathered a few reference photos to work on in the case it's easier for me to do it at home, and this can be another way to inspire me as well. So I picked a few tear sheets of magazine atmosphere that inspire me, light and shadow, or greenery, or kind of still life that seem interesting, or even kind of colors or atmosphere. So it can be nice to have a kind of mood board or a few reference photos like that to paint from. We can also paint from photos from the internet, but I figured out that when you have to search on Google to try to find a nice pic of the flower or the animal or anything you want to paint, you a bit of lose the purpose, and that's not so easy to find a good photo with a good light, a good composition that really inspires you. So that's why it's better to have a few in advance, or maybe to search for good quality materials in the magazines or books or anything you like. So I think that's it. I hope you are ready to tackle the challenge. I hope this helped you, to be more at ease and to know what you are doing and to feel guided in the process. And of course, we are going to be together during the challenge. I hope you will have fun following my painting adventure, a bit less with a tutorial style, but more this kind of casual vlog style. I am really looking forward to painting more in June, and I will have a double challenge to take on because there is the 30 paintings to make in 30 days and also making paintings and videos during the whole month, so wish me good luck. Thank you so much for following along. Subscribe, like, spread the word with creativity, create, and see you in June. Hey June, don't make it bad. Na 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 na